Okay. All right, hold on. Let me see. Make sure. All right. Okay. Let's get this showing rules. Something else. Okay, that's it. All right. Hey, Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Shem Yahshabarakatham. Yahweh Shema Alatham. Alathah Bashem Yahshai. This is priest and officer of 5,000 Kurah Ya'ala out of ISUPK. Started out at 1 West 125th Street under Commanding General Yohana. And we at this every day, waking up Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians and bringing them back to the Lord. Today we gonna go in before we go into anything. I want to say shout out, Shalom, Greg Walker for tuning in. Yahweh Shemir Shabakatah, Yapah Shayara, and Labar. Shalom, Yahweh Shema Thumb by Shem Yahshai. What's going on? We'll see y'all in the chat. That's what's up. But today we're gonna go into accountability. Accountability builds character. And that's something that our people lack. Because everybody's quick to point fingers and say, oh, well, I didn't do it. Pointing fingers left and right. And not taking ownership for their actions. And a lot of times, I get it. We tend to do things, and a lot of us, when we get caught, we get embarrassed. We feel ashamed. But as we sit there and we get caught, whether when we're wrong, you have to be able to sit back and say, the right thing to do. You have to display integrity. Integrity is going to allow you to hold yourself accountable for your actions and what you do, whether it's lying or whether it's doing something and nobody knows. Stepping up to the plate and admitting that you've done something says a lot about your character. When you sit back and you just allow others to take the fall or to take blame for whatever you might have, whatever situation might have occurred or happened, that's not a good character or a good trait. Because 9 times out of 10, when you hold yourself accountable and admit to your faults and to what you're doing, a lot of times the person that you offended or what you have done that you've did wrong or whatever, to that matter, a lot of times they're going to take it easy on you and they're going to look at you with respect and with honor, because they're going to say to themselves, that was the honorable thing that you've done. That's the honorable thing to do, is to sit there and admit your faults. Nobody's going to kill you or nobody's going to beat you up. If you sit there and say, my bad, I'm sorry, I apologize, people are going to be less likely to feel ill will or to feel malice towards you. When you sit there and you can say, I was wrong or you wrong, scriptures tell you that too. You have to forgive your brother 70 times 7, and that goes for sisters as well, Accountability is something that in ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana is a requirement. Because if not, like when you look at these other groups out here, they don't hold themselves accountable. when you see all the shenanigans that go on within their leaders and everything, the men that's under them don't hold them accountable for what's been said. And what I don't understand, and I just sidebar for a second, what I don't understand with these groups out there is that they don't hold their leader when it's clear evidence that their leader did somebody in the congregation wrong, or people that are of the 12 tribes wrong. They don't hold them accountable for whatever offenses they occurred. And how I know and how we know is because there's people that was in the groups that left that talk about that and understand. Hey, Trooper Thamak Shalom, Yabba Shemya Shabrakatah. What's going on, brother? Good to see you in here. You know, understand that that's something that's held. We're held at a high standard. The priests and prophets of the Lord. We're held at a high standard. So everything that the scriptures tell you to do is done in the eyes you became the commanding general Yohana. But let's get back onto a topic in accountability. Overall, as a people, we have to do better. Because when you look out and you see social media, you see a lot of our men. There'll be some of our sisters getting beat up and mishandled by people of other nationalities, other nations, and we will sit there and allow them to manhandle our women, like numerous incidences at the Chinese beauty supply stores or restaurants where they feel that comfortable to lay hands on our women with our men, whether young or old, standing there. And the only thing you see is a YouTube video, a Facebook video, World Star, whatever it is, and you'll see our men laughing at the sister getting beat up. And vice versa. You see sisters, seeing our young men or whatever getting beat up. Now, again, we don't expect the women to get into stuff, but we expect them to stand up and defend our men, young men at that. Not just your child or somebody related, a young brother that you see being mishandled. But for the men to stand there and watch things that happen and sit back and laugh, and the first thing that's going to come out their mouth is they're minding their business. You are a simple coward. You are a scumbag. You are a coward, a spineless homosexual. Because we're supposed to defend. We're supposed to protect our women. We're supposed to protect our children. We're supposed to protect our people as a whole. Even if it's another brother. You don't sit back there and say you're minding your business, especially if you know that a brother ain't do anything and he's just being messed with. There's too many videos out there. And this is why these other nationalities have no respect and they feel like they could do whatever to our people, especially in our own hoods, in our own communities. So understand that the topic, the title of this class today is Accountability Builds Character. Understand that how do you expect our women and children to feel protected if we can't stand up as men to defend them? Now, I'm going to touch on something a little later on because the women understand that y'all not exempt. Y'all not getting away scot-free neither. because putting stuff out on social media degrading the black man, right? And I'm gonna touch on the sisters too. And putting down, what's the famous thing sisters always saying? Niggas ain't shit, niggas can't do nothing, blah blah blah, just that and the third. I don't need a man. I'm the mother and the father. Understand that we're not the only people that's watching these videos. These videos are going worldwide. And when you berate men and you put them down, social media sees that. So when you see these other nations disrespecting our men and women as well, when men berate women and put them down, what happens is you have a world full of people from other nations that have no respect for our people. They already don't like us as a whole spiritually. We are a nation like Zephaniah 2:1 that's not desired, that have never been desired by these other nations. They're jealous of us. They envy us because we're the Lord's chosen. We are the Lord's people, and they know that. We're the only ones. We're the only people that don't know that. Why? Because we choose to follow our oppressors' culture. We choose to follow Christianity. We choose to follow their holidays, Christmas. We choose to follow Thanksgiving. We choose to follow 4th of July that just passed. Not knowing the history. And the sad thing with our people, when it comes to that and following, and when they're told about the history of these of our oppressors' holidays, they don't want to hear it. Why? Because it's been generations passed down of their family, their parents, their great grandparents passed down to their grandparents, passed down to their parents, and so forth. They feel like it's a tradition, and if they did it, then they're going to do it. Knowing and given the history of what Christmas is about, what Thanksgiving is about, they would agree with what is being said, but only because of title. Only because of, and that's the problem with our people, because we hold title instead of holding accountability. We hold title to say, well, if that's my mother, if that's my father, if that's my grandparents, and they're doing that, then it's all right. Which, to a certain degree, I understand, because you're trusting in the ones you look up to. But understand, when given information, and this is where our people have to sit there and say, you know what? Don't just take things for face value, you know? Scriptures tell you to prove all things. This is the mindset that we should be having with everybody, from Big Mama to your moms and to your pops, and and so forth. Anybody. If something don't make sense to you, then hold them accountable. Let them prove to you whatever they saying to you. Prove it. Prove all things. Matter of fact, before I get into the scriptures, we're gonna get into that scripture. Prove all things. Hold on. Bear me 1 second. Okay, First Thessalonians 5:21. We're gonna go into First Thessalonians 5:21. Okay. First Thessalonians 5:21. Oh, okay, hold on. I see Trooper Adamov. Shalom. Yahba Shem Yashabrakatah. What's going on, brother? Okay. First Thessalonians 5:21 says, prove all things, hold fast that which is good. You gotta hold your parents. You gotta hold any and everybody accountable. Even now, you gotta question. If something don't make sense, you ask questions. Ask questions, because what's going to happen is, if you don't and you just take anything that's said, then you're just going to end up doing things. You're going to end up following a religion or belief that have nothing to do with you. If you're Black, Hispanic, or Native Indians, you're going to be sitting there, worshiping and dealing with things that you saying, well, if my parents doing it, then I'm going to do it. Understand, and this is something, the sidebar for a second, this is something that we got to understand as men and women growing up in the households that we've grown up in. Understand that, again, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of it, we look up to titles, which, okay, you have to honor your parents, and so forth, which is true. But by honoring your parents, don't mean that they got it right, especially when you was raised up, or they raised you up in a Christian household, celebrating Christmas, eating pork, shrimp, crab, lobsters, celebrating 4th of July, celebrating Thanksgiving, and so forth, and birthdays. How could I forget that? They didn't get it right. Now, honoring your parents is you making sure they're good. You're making sure it's needed. But honoring your parents is not doing or following their religion because that was their religion, especially if you know that is wrong. If you know running a red light is wrong, are you going to run the red light? You're not going to do that, because there's consequences behind that. If you run that red light, it's several things can happen. You get into an accident, a terrible accident, which you're going to be in the wrong. You get pulled over and get mishandled if you're Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, or you get manhandled by the police, depending on if the Lord is with you or not. So understand that when we as a whole, when we as a people know right from wrong, this is where integrity comes in. If you get this word and you know and you hear and you listen to us in classes, on the streets, or if you watching Black Watch News that come on every Monday, tonight at 9 o'clock, Commanding General Yohana with the heavy hitters out, right? If you know right from wrong and you do right, that means you have integrity. But if you know right from wrong and you choose to do wrong, you have no integrity at all. When you sit there and know right and you do right, that's you holding yourself accountable for doing what's right and what's wrong. And again, accountability. It builds it says a lot about you. I'll give you an example. If you're a slave and a coworker takes you home, right? Taking you out the way, half hour out the way or whatever. I'm just throwing whatever out there, giving you an example. And they they did a whole shift with you, but they like, all right, I'm gonna drive you, but you're like 20 minutes, half hour. I don't care if it's 5, 10 minutes, right? They're going out their way to take you home and dropping you in front of your door. The right thing to do would be give them gas money. Throw something there because you would have had to pay somehow to get home. But again, that's where integrity comes in. You know, hold on, Salagi. Oh, I see Trooper Paratazar. YO in the house. Shalom, Yabashim Yashabrakatah. What's going on, brother? All right, good to see y'all up in here. All right. Yeah, just keep it coming up in here. That's what's up. Okay. But the thing to do would be give gas money. And that's without them even having to ask you. Because what's gonna happen is they're gonna look at you different. They're gonna say, all right, this person got character. Because that's happened to me a lot of times. Dropping brothers and sisters off, and you get some brothers and sisters that would do that. And then you get some that won't even say nothing. They holding on to their wallet, tied it in, the White House security. But that says a lot about a person. But then a lot of times, and this goes back to how a lot of us was raised too. Because if your parents grew up or you was raised to be selfish, inconsiderate, and not to be thoughtful and mindful, because the key is being mindful. You got to be mindful of your surroundings, of everything. Even the priests and prophets of the Lord, the saints of the Most High. We have to be mindful of our people. We have to be mindful that a lot of our people don't know no better. And this is where true love and brotherhood and sisterhood comes in. We have to be mindful. We tend to not forget, but a lot of times it's like you have to say to yourself, like when you come in this truth, that's why they say when you come in this truth, we come in like newborn babies. Because at the end of the day, it's like we don't know no better. What we thought we knew is actually a lot of times it'd be wrong. Because this is how we was raised and this is what we thought was right. But understand that when you come into ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana, all that gets corrected. And then it's just so beautiful to see and the feeling and then to see other brothers and sisters when they come in and then how they grow in this truth. And they just blossom and bloom into being beautiful brothers and sisters spiritually. Just coming in, and just having that spirit and just shedding themselves of the world and just to see them on that spiritual level is also beautiful, man. Saba. Oh, we got Yonkers. All right, no cowards Yonkers up in the house. Shalom, Yabashim Yashabrakatah. What's going on? Mighty men, YO up in the house. All right. Salakia. But let me get to the scriptures. We're gonna go into Galatians 6 and chapter 6 verse 1. We're gonna start at 1. Okay. It says, brethren, if a man be overtaken in fault, ye which are spiritual, restore such an one in the spirit of meekness. Consider thyself least thou also be tempted. Verse 2. Bear ye one another's burden, and so fulfill the law of Yahushua Mashiach. We have to bear each other's burdens. Understand that every day is a battle. Physical battle, spiritual battle. Every day is a battle for us. You have to understand we have to bear each other's burdens. Wherever brother's shortcomings is, we have to be there to pick up the pieces. Understand that we're one body, one spirit, one mind. We have to move in one body. So understand where a brother may fall short, we have to bear a brother's burden, whether it's financially, spiritually. You know, if a brother or sister's falling spiritually, we have to be there and pick them up. We have to do that. You know, we have to shake off all demons, all any possible thing where Satan would sit there and use to come up against you. We have to shake that off because it's a spiritual, not only a physical battle, but a spiritual battle more so than ever. And we have to, you have to bear one another's burdens, you know, and so fulfill the law of Yahushua Mashiach, which y'all know is Christ out there in the world. We have to fulfill the laws because we can't allow our brother, we can't sit back like how a lot of us out there in the streets is doing. We can't sit there and allow your brother to sin, to go off, because that's what a lot of our brothers and sisters do. We'll sit there and be like, oh, well, and we'll laugh and make mockery of a brother or sister that's going off and think it's funny just for entertainment. A lot of times we look for entertainment, a lot of buffoonery and silliness that go on social media. And we got to hold ourselves accountable, and we got to sit there and be there for one another. Hold on a second. Hold on. Okay, yeah. Salakia. We have to hold ourselves accountable and be there for one another, because at the end of the day, we all we have. Understand that in Zephaniah 2:1, where the Most High says we're a nation not desired, that's real. These scriptures are about as real can get. Everybody want to talk about keeping it a buck, keeping it 1,000. The scriptures is a quadrillion. I don't even know if that's a word. Times real. That's about as real as anything on the face of this earth. These laws, statutes, and commandments is real as ever. So understand that when we hold ourselves accountable for our actions and we there to pick each other up, yo, you know what? It's that much beautiful when you have a brother where you feel that security. See, a lot of our people out in the world don't feel that with one another. And they can have history, years together, living in the same area, same block, but they won't feel that because brotherhood and sister, that's right, Chupa Paratazar, brotherhood and sisterhood is a weapon, especially in the ISUPK. You go to any events, which we have a cookout coming out August 21st at Randall's Island. Every event we have, it's like a million. I'm exaggerating the numbers, but it's thousands, hundreds of brothers and sisters in the school, outside the school, that's there. And to see that many in one function, one event, no fights, no arguments, is nothing but love, is unheard of on the face of this earth. Understand that you get that here because, again, ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana, we don't just talk. We live it. We talk, we live it. If there's an issue amongst Akims, Aquathiums, we go to him alone. We deal with it. It gets dealt with and it moves on. We don't sit there. We don't hold grudges. We don't have hold malice. Nothing. The love inside this one body is so beautiful. It's like almost. It's like a make believe movie. Salakia. It's like it seems so unreal. And we're not talking about no, no cats that sit there, no soft cats. You talking about killers, murderers, robbers, drug dealers, drug users, people from all brothers and sisters from all walks of life in one event, having their own afflictions and issues and whether it's mental or whatever, and just being under one event with no mishaps is a beautiful thing, man. But again, Salaki, I drifted off topic, but to bear one another's burdens is something that we have to do. That's just like Salaki, I'm a sidebar again. Growing up, when I was a young lad back in the days, right? I remember, being in Brooklyn growing up, and sometimes there'll be little house parties, right? They used to have rent parties back in the days where you sit there, somebody's behind and rent, they'll throw a party, get a little liquor there, a little food, liquor and food, Salakia. Brothers and sisters gonna be up in that piece, Liquor and food, music, forget about it. And I'm not just talking about Southern tribe, I'm talking about Northern tribe too. Liquor, food, and music, and you got to party for days. As long as that don't run out, that food keep going, the liquor's there. Our our people party for days. But that's another story. But the point I'm making is we'll have rent parties. We'll help one another out. Sometimes if you ain't have food, you get sent to a neighbor's house to go borrow some food, and it was a thing, back and forth. Like we looked out for each other. We bared each other's burdens. We had love for each other. Your kid could have went out in the street, and they had a million eyes on that block, because if it wasn't your mother out there being nosy, looking out the window, it was your grandmother, and it wasn't just yours; it was everybody's damn near looking out the window. So forget ADT. Yeah, Big Mama and Mom Dukes looking out the window. Everybody had that on the block. A few of them. So the point I'm making is we all looked out for each other as a community. Because whoever fell short, it was that much love. It was that much brotherhood and sisterhood where we looked out for each other because we knew the struggle. We had love for our neighbors, for our friends, for our people. Understand that now it's gotten to the point where our people have become so selfish, where it's like crabs in a barrel. It's like if we make it out the hood, or if we start doing better while we're there, anybody that need help, it's like, man, forget about them. They need to do what I did. Not everybody is in a position to do that or can do that. If kids needed babysitting, you could drop them off. You can't do that now. There's too much going on where you have to be skeptical with that. There's too much going on now where it's like every man, every woman for themselves, So understand that we got to sit there and bearing that burden is something. And ISUPK and the Commanding General Yohana, that's what we do. We bear each other's burdens. If a brother or sister have a living situation, you go through the right channels, trust me, they're not going to be out there in the cold. Brother or sister need rent paid. Commanding General Yohana pays rents. He pays, he gets milk, diapers, everything. We sit here and we take care of our own. When you see us and you see any of the classes and we talk about pay your tithes, give donations, make no mistake, we all have a slave. We all work. We all maintain ourselves. That money goes back to paying people's rents, putting food on their table, making sure brothers and sisters and our people are taken care of. But understand that ISUPK and the Commanding General Yohana is the ones that are genuinely there for our people. But yet, we're also, within our own people, the same ones, the most hated within our people. But you want to understand this, that we're bearing the burden of our king, our brother, Yahushua Mashiach. Once you're in the spirit of the Most High, understand that we're bearing the burdens. The whole world hated our brother, our king, Yahushua Mashiach, which y'all know is Christ. The whole world hated him. And that's what we're going through now, is in this day and age. The brothers and sisters that were with Yahushua, hold on a second. Shalom, Lord of Christ. I'm in class right now, brother. I'll talk with you when I'm finished. Shalom, Lord of Christ. All right, no sweat. The water. Shalom, Lord of Christ. Yeah, Salaki. Understand that the burden that we carry, the spirit, we carry the spirit of the Most High in Yahushua Mashiach, right? And it's the same thing. The whole world hates ISUPK. Why? Because we're coming with the truth. Because we're building, we're trying to save lives spiritually, physically. Because we genuinely love our people. We're not sitting here just teaching and then that's it, we going home. We have food drives. We ISUPKs throughout the four corners of this earth right now. And we are raising and bringing our people back to the Most High. Understand that 2/3 of our people will perish. Understand. But our job, that's part of the prophecies. It's not us saying that. We are saying it, but it's because the Most High said it. Well, that's part of the prophecies there. But understand that we want to see all our people live. Our job is to go out there and teach the Lord's people. And understand this also, is that that's true love and true brotherhood right there. Also, correcting one another is true love and true brotherhood right there. Because if you didn't, you hate your brother and sister. If you don't correct them, that's just like your kid. If you let your kid run wild and do whatever you want, you don't love that kid. You hate that kid. Okay, Salakia. I know I rambled on. Salakia. Okay. So, I'm going to go into verse 6. Let him that is taught in the word communicate unto him that teacheth in all good things. Hold on. Salakia. Let me drop that. Salakia, I'm gonna drop that. Let me go to Romans 14 and 2. Okay. Romans 14 and 2. For one believeth that he may eat all things, another, hold on, Salakia, 14 and 12. So that every one of us shall give account of himself to the powers, to the Most High powers. Okay, every one of us have to give account for everything that we do, especially when we come back, when our slate is clean and we tend to do things, because the Most High tells you he turns a blind eye in our ignorance. But understand, once we come back in, we have to hold ourselves accountable for the things that we do, and we have to hold ourselves accountable to the Most High. We can't sit there. Don't think that you're hiding and you're not saying anything, whatever, because the Lord sees all things. You might think you're getting away with something, but you're really not. The Most High is on you. The Most High is going to judge you. Now, whether he have mercy on you and let you slide, only the Lord knows. Only the Lord knows. But again, the Most High knows what what he's gonna allow you to get away with. Okay. Let me get James 5 and 16. Hold on. Okay. James 5 and 16. It says, confess your faults one to another and pray one for another, that ye may be healed. The effectual, fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. Understand that you got to pray for each other. You gotta, you gotta say, may the Lord be with you. You gotta pray and wish well for your brothers and sisters, because for you to sit there and think you can that you wishing, you hope and this and that, you don't do that. You don't do that. You don't wish negativity on your brothers and sisters. You wish them the best. Shalom, keep it pushing. You just say, may Lord be with you, and you just wish them well, and pray for them that they be healed, because it's some demons or something that they dealing with. You gotta sit there and you got to be strong for one another, bear each other's burdens, understand that they may be dealing with something. You got to help them through it. Okay, let me get Thessalonians, 1 Thessalonians 5 and 11. Okay. Okay. First Thessalonians 5 and 11. Okay. It goes. All right. Wherefore, comfort yourself together and edify one another, even as also ye do. Verse 12. And we beseech you, brethren, to know them which labor amongst you and are over you in the Most High, and admonished you. understand that you have to know the people that you around. You know, that scripture right there, verse 12. You have to know the people that's around you. You got to know if a brother's falling, a brother's weak in certain areas, you got to strengthen them. You got to bear his burden and strengthen them up. You have to sit there and say, all right, the brother needs help in this area. He's strong over here, but he needs help over here. Let me help him. Let me be a brother and help him over here. Not just sit back and watch him fall and sit back and, talk about him. Because, if you're doing that, you're weak. If you're doing that, that's stuff that chicks do. I pray and hope if you're a man, you're not doing that. Because that's things that chicks do. Sit back and want to see the demise of another female. And then sit back and laugh and talk about it. That's worldly as hell. And that's effeminate. That's a feminine trait right there. You should want to help your brothers. You should want to help your sisters and not see them fall on their face or watch them show their nakedness, you know? And when I say that, watch them embarrass themselves or, end up looking foolish. That's unbrotherly and unsisterly. Okay, let me go verse 13. And to esteem them very highly in love for their work's sake, and be at peace amongst yourselves. We have to be at peace amongst ourselves. You can't sit there and hold animosity towards one another because of whatever offense. If an offense was there, or if the brother offended you and you squashed it, that's old news now. You're finished. That's it. Shouldn't even be brought up no more. You know, that's old news. You don't recycle old issues, because if you do that, then that means you can't grow. That means you're just stuck. You're stuck in the mud right there. You know, and especially if you're in the school, you can't do that. Whether you're a brother or sister, you got to keep moving on, because we got souls to save, help save. You know. Uh, Verse 14. Now we exhort you, brethren, warn them that are unruly, comfort the feeble-minded, support the weak, be patient towards all men. Understand that we have to sit there and we have to be men and be strong for the feeble-minded, the weak, the unruly. When we in camp and we have our brothers or sisters coming up, that's Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, and they cursing us out, and they're sitting, you know, and coming up against us, that demon that's on them, and they're just sitting there trying to, distract us from teaching our people. You know, we have to understand that we have to be patient towards them and understand that they don't know no better, and they fighting they have some demons on them. You know, through the spirit of of the Most High and Yahweh Shai Mashiach, which y'all know is Christ. You know, we have to perform the exorcism on them at camp. You know, when they come up there, and if you notice, you see it in plain sight that they'll come there and aggressive. They'll come there aggressive, and then they'll turn around, and by the time they leave, they'll be calm as ever, patient as ever. That's because they had a demon on them. That demon, Satan, was trying to use them to come at us. Satan was trying to come to distract them and to distract any brother or sister that's Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian from coming closer to the Lord. Okay. Let me see. Drop that. Let me see. 15. Okay. And verse 15, see that none render evil for evil unto any man, but ever follow that which is good, both among yourselves and to all men. You don't render evil for evil. You don't sit there and say, well, you did me wrong, I'm going to do them wrong. You don't do that. That's tit for tat. That's another effeminate trait right there. And again, if you are a male, a man, I pray and hope you're not doing that. Because that tit for tat is very feminine. That's what chicks do. Salakia. Okay, let me get Luke 17 and 3. Luke 17 and 3, it says, take heed to yourselves. If thy brother trespass against thee, rebuke him. And if he repents, forgive him. Understand that you sit there. Hold on. So Salaki had a little what do you call it? Station difficulties. Salakia. So I'm gonna read that again. Luke 17 and 3. Take heed to yourselves. If thy brother trespass against thee, rebuke him. And if he repents, forgive him. Understand that there's rules to dealing with each other. There is standards. There is guidelines on how to live and how to deal with each other. When you go into the scriptures, when you look at the Bible, when you look at the King James 16:11, when you read these scriptures give you principles to live off of. These scriptures tell you how to deal with your brother, what to do. It gives you step-by-step instructions on situations, how to deal with situations, what to do, what not to do. When you sit back and look at it, even like I'll use the Quran for instance. The Quran tells them, the Muslims, to use the Bible as a reference. The Quran deals with the first 5 books of Moses, which is the Torah, right? But then when you sit there and look at it, if you're Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, and I'm sidebar for a second, why would you even deal with that? Because also the Quran also tells you that the covenant was given to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, which is the 12 tribes, Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. understand that these Arabs, they know that the so-called black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, and women are not Muslims. That have nothing to do with them. That's their belief. That's their religion. You know, it ain't no different than when you look at when you sit there and you look at a black person, Hispanic or Native Indian person. When you sit there and you see them trying to befriend people of another nationality, our oppressors, the so-called white man, these devil dogs, um, the Asian man, the African man, the East Indian man, and so forth, right? When they sit back and look and they see that you're trying to be up under them and you're willing to compromise your belief, your culture, your people to befriend them, understand, newsflash, they don't respect you. They laugh at you. They look at you as fools. So when you look at like Islam and you look at a Buddha and all these other things, they see a black, Hispanic, or Native Indian in there. Yeah, they'll accept you because they're taking your money, your donations, whatever. But they don't really accept you because they know you. They know. Excuse my French. They know your silly behind don't belong there. But to keep the peace, to take your money, to have you thinking whatever, they know that you're taking off. You're pulled away from the Most High. So they don't care because they want to see you die. They don't give a damn about you. They don't give a damn about any black, Hispanic, or Native Indian. They'll let you do their culture. They don't care because, like a fool, you're gonna give all your money to them, pay whatever if they have tithes or whatever they got. You're gonna pay to them, and all that money is going to them. They're not even funneling it back into the black, Hispanic, or Native Indian communities. Because if you notice, they'll have a Muslim mosque in now around every, if not the hood, next to the hood, not too far from there. They getting all that money, whatever money they getting in there. It's not going back to the communities. It's going back to their country. It's not going back into the black, Hispanic, or Native Indian communities. Not at all. Not at all. They'll even set up stores, halal carts, halal stores, and right in the hood. All that money from Kennedy's Fried Chicken, so forth, is going to get funneled right back to their country and their people. The 7-Elevens, you name it, the you know the the delis now. You can't even call them bodegas, but the delis they done took over, especially New York. All that money ain't going back to our communities. It's being taken out of our communities. But a lot of our people want to sit there and get on the magic carpet and sit there and think that they're doing something praying to a rock, a meteorite. We got to do better, black man, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. We got to do better as a people. We got to wake the hell up because it's getting to the point where, with all these, the coronavirus ain't finished. The Lord ain't finished. This first wave in 2019 was the turn up, like Commanding General Yohanan prophesied. Now they saying, well, not now that they saying. I think it's been out for a couple months now. This Delta variant for the corona is becoming contagious now, where you can. It's like the flu. You sit there and cough, and somebody can get it, and it's coming. It's coming back serious. So understand that that we have to hold ourselves accountable. You know, we have to hold ourselves accountable and pick each other up. I'm gonna give one last scripture, Ecclesiastes 4:9. Hold on. Okay, Ecclesiastes 4:9. It says, "Two are better than one, because they have good reward for their labor." Understand that when we out and we doing our thing, we always got to roll together, especially when we out there, because it's us against the world. It's us against this wicked society, this wicked world out here. Verse 10, "For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow, but woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he had not another to help him." Understand, ISUPK and the Commanding General Yohana, we pick each other up. We each other's backbone right there. Understand that brothers and sisters is out there that's not in the school. You're alone. When you're going through an issue, you're alone and you got to figure it out on your own. You don't have nobody to lean on. And if you do, it's limited. And if you do have help, yo, the Lord's with you. But a lot of time, with that help that you have, it be some nonsense behind it. ISUPK and the Commanding General Yohana is genuine help. Brothers help, sisters help. They don't even think about it. You know, out there in the world, you probably got to hear a whole song and dance. I did this for you. I did that. Run down a whole laundry list to the point where even though you need help, you're not going to want help because you don't want to hear that bullshit behind it. Excuse my French. You know? But let me go to verse 11. "Again, if two lie together and they have heat, but how can one be warm alone?" You know, you sitting there, you got to sit there and bundle up. You know, you got a blanket and it's cold and you stuck in a storm. You got to sit there and huddle up. Like in football, you got to huddle up. You're going to share that blanket. Both of y'all got to be warm, you know? You got to huddle up, you know? And let me put out there, not on no funny business, but you huddle up like how men would huddle up to keep warm, you know? That's basically what it's saying. You know, you sit there, you know, if you got to keep heat, or, you know, if one is sitting there and you have a house and the other one is without heat, come over my house, man. Shit, we work this out. We get it up. We work on getting heat in your house. That's ISUPK and the Commanding General Yohana. We here for our brothers and sisters. We have genuine love. Brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood and sisterhood is a weapon in the ISUPK. You know? Let me go, let me see. Let me just read 12. "And if one prevail against him, two shall withstand him, and a threefold cord is not quickly broken." So understand that this is ISUPK right here, under Commanding General Yohana. This is us, airtight, brotherhood, sisterhood, right? Anybody else that's not in ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana, this is them right here. It's no togetherness. It's no foundation. It's no rock. It's not solid. Understand that we don't just talk it, we live it, we do it, we breathe it, we eat it. We sleep with it. We wake up with it. Understand that in the light of everything, if you want to gain the respect of your brothers and sisters, understand that you have to build character. And when wrong is wrong and right is right, you want to hold yourself accountable for it. So understand that accountability builds character, whether you want to believe it or not. That's my time, Israel. Shalom. Yahweh Hashem Yahshabaraka Thumb. Yahweh Shema Allah Thumb Hashem Yahshai. That's my time. Shalom.